The first person who brought us information of this type of gladiatorial sacrifice was Diego Muñoz Camargo. In his 1585 book La Historia de Tlaxcala, he tells about this kind of combats that had a very special function. They were both military and religious. With this type of combat, the elite forces were also trained. This is Diego Muñoz's description for when there was a prisoner. They would take him to the middle of a square, where they had a wheel of over 30 spans wide on each side, and in the center of this great big wheel, a smaller round one, as if an elbow that served as an altar on the ground, from which a long rope was tied without going over the borders of the larger wheel. This is the first contact with the platform and the prisoner. It was the beginning of the Tlacaxipehualitztli, offering to the god Xipetotec. The miserable prisoner was tied with this rope, and there they laid all kinds of weapons he could defend himself with, from broken shields to some macahuitls with few blades. The battle took place upon a gladiatorial stone or temalcatl, that is, on the brief stone on which the poorly armored prisoner must do battle during the gladiatorial sacrifice in honor of Xipetotec. Thus it begins, with eagle and jaguar warriors as opponents. In several cases it was 3 against 1. If the prisoner survived, he was given 2 options: serve in the militia or being sacrificed in honor of Xipetotec. The Tlacaxipehualitztli ritual was meant to create or maintain the assimilation of the us with the others. Xipetotec was the lord of war and sacrifice, in which the transformation of the being into another and vice versa could be accomplished. In many cases, sons of nobles were sent to this ritual as it provided them with training to overcome fear. These gladiatorial combats took place even at the end of the pre-Hispanic, but they first took place at the beginning of the 3rd century in the Cerro de la Campana. 2 colors were used to identify each fencer, black and red. Each side judge will have a marker representing each of these colors. He or she will raise it upon seeing a valid hit on either fencer. Judges will raise the color of the marker of the fencer who has scored the hit points during the tournament. Warrior point, prisoner point, a strike to the head, a strike to the arm or the hand, a strike to the torso, including the back, a strike to the leg, thrust to the heart, ring out, double point, no point, after blow or rukslag, warrior point, after blow prisoner, prisoner point, after blow warrior. Valid and forbidden targets. Strike to the head, strike to the torso, including the back, strike to the arm, strike to the hand, strike to the leg, strike to the foot. Forbidden targets: nape or back of the head, genitals, the following will be considered valid strikes or techniques: thrust, cuts, front kicks to the torso and about the opponent's waist. Disarms. Ring out. The object of this tournament is to observe control and proper technique with each of the chosen weapons. Because of this, it should be regarded as if it were a duel to the death. That's the reason why a cut or thrust to the head or heart will leave the receiving fighter out of the tournament immediately. Prior to beginning the historical tournament, there will be a draw to determine the first prisoner and the order of which the rest of the warriors will enter the ring. These warriors must wade out and to one side of the ring in the same order they were drawn. Each fighter will have 3 turns to fight. The first prisoner shall wait for his opponent inside the ring too. When the warrior approaches to the fight, he will be given the chance to choose from the weapons that had been laid on the weapons table. The prisoners must take the same weapon as the warrior and then walk back to the center of the ring too. There he will be tied from the waist and the warrior will take his place outside the ring wand. Beginning the combat. The warrior must be outside the ring one, and prisoner must be at the center of the ring 2. So warrior enter to the ring 1. It's necessary at least 50% of the feet must be in the ring 2 in order to get a valid point to prisoner. When the prisoner receives a direct strike from the warrior, the fight ends, and prisoner leaves the ring and the warrior takes the place of the prisoner. Following is a description of consequences of each scoring call and resulting action for each. Cut or thrust to the head. Automatic loss of all 3 turns. Thrust to the heart. Automatic loss of all 3 turns. Cut or thrust to the torso. Loss of 1 turn. Cut or thrust to the hands. Loss of 1 turn. Cut or thrust to the legs. Loss of 1 turn. Warrior pushes the prisoner out of the ring. Prisoner loses 1 turn. Prisoner pushes the warrior out of the ring. Warrior loses 1 turn. If warrior moves out of the ring too, no action. But if prisoner pull back the warrior outside of the ring, loss of 1 turn. Prisoner put 1 foot outside of the ring too. Lose of 1 turn. Warrior whose both feet outside ring 1. Loss of 1 turn. Warrior puts 1 foot outside of ring 2. No action. Warrior has no specific weapon to fight with. Loss of 1 turn. In case both opponents leave the ring, both fighters will lose 1 turn, and the next fighter up will become the prisoner, and the following one will become the new warrior. Each combatant that loses a turn will go back to the end of the line and will wait his next turn. Double hit. Also called double or double point. This happens when the two fencers strike at each other in the same tempo to a valid target. When this happens, the advantage will be in favor of the warrior and the prisoner will lose 1 turn, no matter where the strike lands. At this point, the warrior takes the prisoner's place in the center of the ring too. Afterblow of Rückschlag. This action refers to a hit which has begun in the tempo immediately after the tempo in which the opposite fencer has made a valid hit. Warrior cuts the prisoner leg. Prisoner afterblow to warrior's leg. Prisoner loses 1 turn. Warrior cuts at prisoner leg. Prisoner afterblow to warrior's torso. Prisoner loses 1 turn. Warrior cuts at prisoner leg. Prisoner afterblow with cut to the warrior head or thrust to the heart. Warrior only loses 1 turn and the prisoner remains in the ring. Warrior cut at prisoner head. Prisoner afterblow to the warrior head. Prisoner loses 2 turns and warrior loses 1 turn and takes the prisoner's place in the center of the ring too. Prisoner cuts at warrior's leg. Warrior afterblow to the prisoner leg. Prisoner loses 1 turn. Prisoner cuts to warrior's leg. Warrior afterblow with cut to the prisoner torso. Prisoner loses 1 turn. Prisoner cuts to warrior's leg. Warrior afterblow with cut to the prisoner head or thrust to the heart. Prisoner leaves the tournament. Automatic lose of the 3 turns. Prisoner cuts to warrior's head. Warrior afterblow with cut to prisoner head. Prisoner loses 2 turns. Warrior loses 1 turn and takes prisoner's place in center of the ring too. The warrior, in order to be able to strike a point, will need to have at least 50% of 1 foot inside the ring too. This rule is to avoid the prisoner from taking complete advantage over the warrior by completely crowding the edge of the ring too. As soon as the prisoner approaches completely to the edge, the referee will call a line and will proceed to count out loud to 3. At the end of the 3 count, he will call center, meaning the prisoner must return to the center of the ring.
Prisionero, línea, 1, 2, 3.
If prisoner ignores this count, the referee will call a halt to actions. Should this happen 3 times during the same bout, the prisoner will receive a warning.